Integrative Life Community Building, Class 3. Integrating Body Mastery into Your Community of Spirit. Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, Director of the School of Integrative Psychology and facilitator of the Integrative Life Community Building course. The focus of this third class in our series is how to generate and conduct energy in your body. What is body mastery? The purpose of our workshop today is to present body mastery as an immediate and attainable goal for everyone in this course. It's not reserved for a special few in loincloths in the Himalayas. It's something that is important and integral to every one of us. And secondly, to present methods and techniques that will further us in this process. So we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to engage in it in this class. I believe it's a mistake to try to ignore, repress, get out of, or somehow get around being in the body in this life. We've chosen to do this journey together with a body, not by accident. And we didn't get a defective one. Even though it may operate differently from other bodies, our body is a perfect servant, and it's been leading us exactly to the lessons that are most important for us, given that we can accept and attend to and learn from this sacred companion. I'm going to ask you to suspend your current ideas of what your body is, because we're going to learn about our bodies in the process of discovering how they work, how we create them, and how we change them. So this is going to be a self-discovery class, not a learn from a textbook or from some idealized form. Mastery, I'll define as the ability to use our body directly, effectively, and pleasurably in accomplishing our life fulfillment. Our body is not something to get around or an obstacle. As long as we keep trying to dismiss it or ignore it, we're missing something very important. My goal today is that every one of us takes another step in appreciating the wisdom of our body, and that we come away not just with an appreciation of it, but with an actual game plan. Where to go with this work and how to keep that mastery increasing throughout our life. Now, in this course of work today, since we're going to be focusing on our body and we're going to learn by doing, watch your body at all times. Watch what happens as we cover different topics, different areas of the body, because your body will be signaling you. There's an organic wisdom there. You may think, oh, I just had too much for lunch, or, oh, I didn't get enough sleep last night, or, oh, my chair's too hard. Listen to and note what's going on, because everything that we do is going to give us messages. That's part of what we're going to work with in this class, that the body is on the job all the time. It's continually giving us feedback, so much so that we tend to blank it out. We're going to try to tune into that feedback and chunk it down so that we can make it into digestible pieces so that we can actually pay attention and do something with its feedback. You don't have to wait for an exercise in this class to do that. You can ask yourself at any time along the way, okay, I'm starting to feel some tightness in my neck right now, or my back, or we're talking about some scary subject for me, or something otherwise emotionally charged. How do I take care of myself right now? How do I take a breath that helps adjust? How do I shift my posture? How do I change my attitude rather than think that something else is putting pressure on me? For example, I've got to come up with an immediate answer as to why I'm feeling a chronic pain. I've got to change how my body looks. Much of this learning will be happening for you other than when a certain subject is being talked about or during the exercises that we're doing. That's because we have the intention for this class, just because we've decided to devote ourselves to this kind of work. Now, in a moment, we're going to start with an exercise around something you like about your body. Oh my goodness, something I like about my body? Yes. Now, remember the principles that we were working with and that we studied in the last class about spiritual psychology. When what you focus on is what increases. So if I keep looking at what I don't like about my body, or where it's not measuring up to my standards or what I think the world's standards are, of course, that's what increases in my body. Now, the body, I suggested, is a perfect servant. So it's going to follow the instructions and focus on what part has the emotional charge on it, positive or negative. As a matter of fact, your body has done exactly what you have told it, the instructions you've given it, consciously or unconsciously, all along. Now, that's not an excuse to beat yourself up. The game here is getting into taking responsibility for the body. Oh, you mean I told myself to get a cold last week? Well, in a sense, yes, I did participate in the cold game now that's going around. It's a kind of a thing we do together. I might think I didn't want to participate in it, but for some reason, as we discovered in the analysis game, part of me decided to. Now, you can beat yourself up for that. But it may be something part of us decided to do in preparation for this class, even though you didn't know consciously what the topic was going to be. Yes, we're very intuitive creatures, even though we don't know exactly what we're doing every moment of the day. With body mastery, some part of us knows and brings to us the raw material for our bodies to work with. One of the hardest challenges I've seen myself engage in is that when something is not going my way, for example, I have a pain or a difficulty or a disease or something uncomfortable, that I want to judge myself for that and ask, what's wrong with me? That usually doesn't accentuate the healing. In fact, it's usually part of what my body is reflecting. I put the cart before the horse. The body is the messenger saying, you think something is wrong with you? Here's a physical manifestation of that. Ouch! But then I say, well, if I kill the messenger, anesthetize, ignore, or condemn my body for reflecting that message I'm giving it, then I'll be okay. You know, if I don't like what I wrote on the blackboard, I'll destroy the blackboard, and then I'll be fine. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, the body is here to help us see what those internal messages are, not as a cruel hoax to rub our nose in it, but to lovingly help us adjust and to do something about that. And it's only when I come to loving and accepting that I start getting on board with having my body as a perfect vehicle for expressing my love and light, a companion that I appreciate rather than an enemy that I'm fighting against. When I see my symptoms as a cleansing in action rather than a cold or an illness, it makes a big difference in how I consciously cooperate in the process and how I struggle less with it. So let's see what happens when we state something simply and honestly. Something I like about my body is. Take handout 1, the body as an energy conducting system, section 1, and write at least 10 responses to what I like about my body. Complete this now and come back to the video. The body as an energy conducting system. This class is divided into 3 sections. First of all, learning about the body as an energy conducting system. Then we're going to learn about the body as a means of communication. And finally, we'll work with the body as a product of our thoughts and how to change these thoughts. Here is a video clip from the second seminar in the Creative Life series, Body Mastery, which will give us the experience of the body as an energy conducting system. Please follow along the demonstration of the bioenergetic exercise. Our first section is the body as an energy conducting system. In physics, energy is defined as potential plus flow. Many of our bodies seem to have a lot of potential, but not much flow. So the body seems full of energy, but nothing is moving. Other bodies have a lot of flow. Things are moving all over the place, but there's very little containment. We're looking for a balance in that potential and flow. The body moves, the energy moves in the body by a process of charging and discharging. And the exercise that we're going to start with in demonstrating the charging and discharging is a basic bioenergetic posture. Bioenergetics starts from the ground up. So we are looking to build a solid base for the flow of our energy by being well grounded. We start with our feet parallel, firmly planted on the ground. Now, this is an uncomfortable position for many people, feet being parallel, because generally we've put a great emphasis on keeping our gluteal muscles tight, bringing our toes out, and in the extreme, it's kind of the Charlie Chaplin posture, walking around with our toes pointed out. If you feel your buttocks when you're doing this, you'll recognize it's rather tight. This could be the origins of what we call the tight-ass society, meaning that we're all under a lot of pressure and holding in. So when we do the charging and discharging exercise, our feet are parallel. We learn to keep our ankles, knees, and hips in alignment. We bend the body into a bow position, putting a mild stress on the body, but keeping our body supported and sustained in the process. This is diagnostic in that it'll tell us wherever there are weak points or points that are continually under stress. It's therapeutic in that we can then breathe into and to release the energy holding places. The vibration that happens when we put our body in the bow position is a natural flow of life energy. This is what we look for, the body vibrating with the involuntary movement, yet I'm giving it structure, holding it in this position. My eyes are open, I'm looking forward and staying in contact with reality, and my breathing is full, diaphragmatic, as well as breathing into my heart area. The signs of vibration in the body, the signs of aliveness and flow in the body, are a clarity, a brightness, a sense of feeling together. This is contrasted to when the body is held and there is discoloration, disproportion, pain, discomfort. We'll hold this posture of charging for several minutes. And then we'll go into the discharging position, which is one of our feet are still firmly planted. We're bending forward. We have our knees slightly bent. We're allowing the vibration to continue to happen. We're breathing into our buttocks area as if it were a balloon, so that it enlarges as we inhale, contracts as we exhale. And we're letting the whole upper body be on vacation, loosening the jaw, the arms, the shoulders, but we're not collapsing. We're still maintaining the posture in which our body can vibrate. This vibration, after a while, becomes a streaming, which is quite pleasurable if I allow the flow to be easy. When, after a minute or so, it's time to come up, I can feel like I've maintained this posture long enough. I start to bring the energy from the earth right up through my feet, through my ankles, through my knees. Very slowly I'm breathing. I'm unfurling like a flag, stacking one vertebrae upon the other. The chin is the last thing to come up. Eyes are open, and there's a feeling of being suspended by a cord coming right out of the top of my head to the ceiling. My knees are still soft, never locked.
This vibration can stay with me for as long as I continue to surrender to the flow of life energy.
So what we're doing here is to help us get in tune with the ebb and flow, the charge and the discharge of our body energy, and how to unblock areas of our body that get jammed up so as to make that flow more easy. Now, the sign of flow is that the energy is flowing and we feel good in the body. Pleasure is built right in. This is a basic bioenergetic experience called the bow, the charge and the discharge. As demonstrated, it has two parts to it. The first part is putting the body in a mild stress position, like a bow, as though you're pulling back the string of a bow. When you pull back on a string of a bow, the wood of the bow has a little tension on it. Now, if there's any part of the bow that's weak, that's where it's going to break. So, to have a finely tuned bow, there's a proportional amount of stress distributed throughout. One area isn't taking more than another. The exercise that we do, as a matter of fact, all the exercise that we do, I'm going to ask you to monitor individually and not to cause undue pain. That's counterproductive. The body under the mild stress position will tend to show us hidden stored messages like, I'm scared. Oh, I don't want someone to know something about me. I'm hiding something. I'm protecting myself. All these messages get sent right from our mind, through our brain, to our muscles. Now, granted, we're not just going to change our muscles and immediately change our mind. However, we can work in that direction. Our body has remembered a lot of messages that we blanked out of our mind. Our body has a storehouse of the messages that we've given ourselves through our entire life. It's a neon sign of our history. Now, usually we're fairly respectful of one another, when we don't read the neon sign overtly. I don't meet someone and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" "Oh, how are you doing?" And then look them up and down from top to bottom. Generally, we're more respectful. In fact, we're very shy about that. We, in effect, say, that's already stressed will tend to stand out like a sore thumb. It may be saying, I've got enough already. I don't need any more. So that will then allow us to relax our breath into that area and to even out the stress and our way of carrying that stress. We can also tap into the messages that we're giving to that part of our body. And through loving intention, change not just our posture, but change our stance in life. So metaphorically, change how we face life, how we take a stand, how we meet others. While doing this exercise, check the small of the back, because it's often the area that we split ourselves in two, where we segment the upper and the lower body right above the pelvic area. There's often tension there. And what we'll do is we'll cock it back and we'll tighten up the muscles. And then, again, I'm just in my upper body. So when you're doing the exercise, put your hand on the small of your back and feel that it's flat. Then you may feel an increase in the tension in your thighs. That's good. You're letting the large muscles of the thigh support you rather than having all the tension taken in the small of your back, the cause of most lower back pain. If at any time during the first part of the exercise you get shoulder pain, you can simply bring your arms down and put your fists in the small of your back, and then bring your elbows together. Continue to breathe and sink and relax into your body while doing the exercise, instead of what we generally do when we want to avoid any discomfort is start thinking about lunch, checking out, or just gritting your teeth and bulling through. Again, no medals for endurance. We're looking simply to get in touch with what we do, because what we do with the stress position is what we do with our life stress. Our body reflects our techniques. While breathing into the legs, some people might even get a burning sensation. Your heat is starting to generate. Simply sink down. Keep relaxing. When you've had enough charging, you will go into the second part of the exercise, the discharge. You will gradually build up the time you can hold each of these positions. Work respectfully and lovingly with your body. In the second part of this exercise, you can still feel the vibration mounting. So stay with it. Keep relaxing into it. Check to see if your feet are still parallel. Those pesky little critters will tend to move on you. You're going to keep our feet parallel and bend all the way forward, relaxing the upper portion of your body, keeping your knees bent. They're bent in a slight angle, and it's allowing you to keep that vibration going while the upper part of your body is now relaxing. You're discharging. The entire upper part of your body, the head, the neck, the jaw, are relaxed, on vacation as it were. Again, you're relaxing into the small of your back. With each breath, you can imagine your buttocks like a balloon that as you inhale gets bigger and as you exhale gets smaller. Now, that's a funny analogy, but it can help deepening your breath. You're allowing the involuntary tremor to happen, which may be challenging because this is something we're not used to. We think we have to stay in control all the time. For some, the discharge position is more difficult and or uncomfortable than the charge position. For others, it's the opposite. You're breathing through your mouth because we need a little extra oxygen. We're in a stressful position. Now you can adjust your legs to what allows the flow to be easy and pleasurable. If you start to get too much stress in your legs or they start to feel like they're going numb, simply rise up a little bit, straightening your knees to reduce the tension. But keep the vibration going. Again, if you're getting severe discomfort, adjust. But we're looking now for a way to allow our discharge to happen easily, with support and pleasurably. Continue to imagine the roots sinking down into the earth from the center of your feet. Now, our discharging is not only physical. Remember, the physical also reflects the emotional and the mental. So, what is it that you like to release or let go of emotionally? You may find feelings starting to flow. You breathe with the feelings. Let yourself express them. You might find that there are thoughts coming up. You relax with your thoughts. Any part of your body that tends to be holding now, continue to relax and breathe into. Now, when we're coming up from the discharging, you're not going to pull yourself up with your head and your shoulders. You're coming up by letting the energy come from the center of the earth, right up through the bottom of your feet, through your ankles, through your legs, very, very slowly. Your chin is the last thing that's going to come up. You start to stack one vertebrae upon the other, one at a time. See if you can unfurl your spine rather than let your spine be a ramrod straight. When you get all the way up, your knees are still soft. It feels like there's a rope coming right out the top of your spine, connecting to the ceiling, straightening you up. You might have grown an inch or so. You may feel your body opening up. You're moving the energy, and that usually increases heat. When you've completed 1 or 2 rounds, you can then just shake a little bit. Stop the video now and practice this exercise at least once, twice if you can. Then take handout 1 and complete section 2. What I experienced that was useful to me in doing the charging and discharging exercise was. Then come back to the video. Okay, that was the basic charging and discharging bioenergetic exercise. I worked with this every day for a couple of years to help diagnostically get in touch with where my holding was and therapeutically to do something about that holding. For example, breathing into it, changing the thoughts around it. Do not try to change it all at once. Oh, my knees are sore. Okay, I'm just going to do it. No, that may be the old technique that I had, which got my knees the way they are now, which is to try to force through it. And so when I'm doing the charging and discharging, I'm looking to adjust and to work with my body so that it gradually allows energy to flow. That vibration, which you can experience if you let go into the exercise, can become quite pleasurable. So rather than resist, flow with the energy. When I'm in harmony with it, I can feel pleasure. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings till next class. Blessings in light and love.